fuck? Are you serious?
You were watching the show tonight.
I'm talking to Tom Green right now.
Yeah.
I should so smoke a blunt with you right now.
Yeah,
oh
well,
my God, that's just so fucking random.
And it's weird because now you're on the show next week.
What the fuck? I'm on the fucking show. Are you serious? Hold on, bro. Bro, this is on TV, bro.
Absolutely.
Yo, this is fucking insane. Tom Green, A.B. What the fuck? Are you serious?
Los Angeles,
Are
man.
you serious? Come on, bro.
What happened?
Come on, bro. This is not real. It's A.B. with TG on fucking Access TV. Turn the fuck up. Let's go.
It's Tom Green Live. Tonight's special guests, Richard and Mary Jane Green, Neil Hamburger, Brody Stevens.
That was AV, and I'm TG on Access TV, right? That was pretty good. That was a fun little experience running into AV. If you're watching, how are you, man? That was... We were driving to Las Vegas after the show last week. This is going to be a fun new thing we do. We do the show, and then we drive to Las Vegas. I'm doing some stand-up comedy down there. I was on the way to Las Vegas. We stopped at the gas station. AV was at the gas station. AV had been, how are you, AV? If you're watching, good to see you, man. What's up? He had been watching our show last week with Kat Von D and with Sebastian Bach and enjoying the show. And he'd left his house. He was going up to the Chevron station to buy some Swisher Sweets, some cigars. Clearly, AV is a cigar smoker. And we just met, and it was a great time, a great energy there, and we thought we had to break out the camera and show you what's been going on out there in the world. It's really been exciting. You know, last weekend in Las Vegas, people were coming up to me with cassette tapes, giving me cassette tapes. If you've been watching the show, you'll know why, because I've been asking people to send cassette tapes in for my 1979 Z28 Camaro. We did receive this. We received this for the 1979 Z28 Camaro as well. People have been sending us stuff in the P.O. box here that we have set up. But I do want to say, I want to ask you guys, this is pretty cool though, right? 1979 Chevy Camaro Z28. Yes, it's fast. No, you can't drive it. See, that's funny, right? It's a funny thing to have. Thank you for sending me this from, this came in from, where the heck did it come from? I don't know. Lisden, Indiana. Is that where it came from?
Sign company.
Yeah, from a sign company. Oh, okay. They made it for us. Oh, that's really cool. Thank you. They actually made it for us. And if you want to send us, actually, I was going to say you can send cassette tapes, but we don't want any more cassette tapes, actually. We have received too many cassette tapes. And, you know, I've actually been kind of concerned that maybe the show is just getting too confusing. So we're going to stop asking you to send the cassette tapes. I want to thank everybody. I've got a room full of cassette tapes. We do have a gnome traveling around the world. The gnome is in Puerto Rico. We got a great video from Puerto Rico of the gnome that we have traveling around the world. It has my Twitter address written on it. And people, if you come across the gnome, tweet a photo of it to me. But again, also confusing. So we're going to sort of stop talking about the gnome. We're going to stop talking about the cassettes. It's still happening in the background. But we're not going, this is the last time on the show that I'm going to open the entire show with our little game. Stop sending cassettes to me. Although I do collect vintage guitars. So we got an exciting night tonight. I want to just say this is kind of, in a lot of ways, a historic evening here on the show. For those of you who don't know about me, I started in the television broadcasting business when I was a television broadcasting student in Ottawa, Canada. In 1994, I started a little public access TV show up there. Eventually, in 1999, it got picked up by MTV, and they moved me down to the United States of America. And now here I am, basically 20 years later, exactly 20 years later, actually, 1994 to now. That's exactly 20 years later, still doing television. And instrumental, I think, in the success of the show getting picked up by MTV was a lot of the pranks that I would pull on my parents, Richard and Mary Jane Green, who are going to be here with us tonight for the entire show. We will be sitting with Richard and Mary Jane Green. That's not all. We have hilarious comedian Brody Stevens here, and the amazing and legendary Neil Hamburger is going to be dropping by. Both very good friends of mine. And we're going to have a great time, and we're going to talk to my parents, and we're going to talk to Brody, and we're going to talk to Neil, and we're going to look at some old video clips from the old original Tom Green show, and ask my parents about them, some of the pranks that I pulled on them. So we're going to have a fun night tonight. Thank you for watching, and stop sending the cassette tapes. We'll be back after the break, taking your calls. See you in a minute. And we're back. You are watching the show. This is going to be a fun one. I'm excited about this one because my very own parents, Richard and Mary Jane Green, are here. Thanks for coming on the show. Mom, Dad.
No problem.
Thanks for being here.
Okay.
You've been on the show many times over the years.
Yeah, not usually by invitation. But
Yeah. Hasn't always been a voluntary thing.
No, that's true.
Yeah, but I think the reason that we wanted to have you on the show is because you are probably the single thing that I get asked about most by people who grew up watching the show and who are watching the show now. People are requesting your presence here.
Are they still alive?
We were the stars.
Yeah. I think so, yeah. I mean, I said that in the intro. You guys really, I think people related to that because remember the show was started in 1994. It was before reality television. People hadn't seen shows where real people were screaming and yelling at each other and tossing horse heads into each other's beds in the middle of the night and things like that.
The bad old days.
Painting each other's painting their parents' houses plaid and stuff, right? Yeah. So it's people ask about you a lot. You guys, you guys really kind of.
We were on the leading edge.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, are you guys all right? Everything's all right?
Well, we were never all right,
Because
Tom.
people always ask me, like, if you guys are okay, if our relationship is good after all the pranks.
It's really good.
Much better since you moved out of the basement.
Yeah. But you guys still talk to me. People think that maybe we don't speak.
No, of course we talk. Yeah.
You love me?
Absolutely, we love you. How could we not love you, Tom?
Yeah, and
You're so lovable.
I love you guys
Absolutely.
as well.
You're a very good son.
I love you, Mom. I love you,
know.
Dad.
That's
Thank you,
good.
Tom. Me too.
I'm glad we've got it on film now, just in case.
We don't tell each other that we love each other a lot, though.
No,
No.
we're not that kind of.
Just
mushy.
on television.
Mushy.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It seemed like it would be an appropriate thing to do now because, like, people
Because
probably.
we may be dying soon, or what?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going to say
Let
that.
it out of the box.
Okay, yeah, right.
No, don't. Come on, don't be crazy.
That's too
okay?
dark.
Don't
That's
be crazy.
dark.
Yeah.
That's dark.
You're
Okay.
a weird person.
Hey,
No.
the apple doesn't fall far
Mom,
from the tree.
Relax.
Yeah, okay.
Just relax, okay?
Okay.
You don't need to have a joke every second. And
Okay.
Dad, just relax.
All right,
Let's
I'll-
have a nice talk, okay? Just pretend we're hanging out in the living room
All
having
right.
a chat.
Okay, good.
I thought it would be fun to look at some of the videos to contextualize them for our new viewers.
Okay.
The Slutmobile. The Slutmobile was your 1992 Honda Accord. It was the first time our family ever had a new car.
That's true.
It wasn't the used Mercury Zephyr
No,
that we bought from Mr. White,
no, it wasn't. It was
our next
not.
door neighbor.
He really was
It wasn't.
Mr. White. We're
It wasn't the
Greens, he's
AMC Hornet, right? It was the nice new 1992 Honda Accord. And you got up one morning. This was when the show was just getting started, and there was pornography painted on the hood of the car. I thought we should watch that together because this video is really probably the video that got us on MTV.
Turned it into the Slutmobile.
There we go. There you are, Dad.
Right.
You like it, Dad? Come look at it, Dad.
We'll talk to your mother.
What? What's the big deal? Oh, come on. Don't walk to work. Don't walk to work. It's not obscene. It's love. Dad can't take the bus to work. I'm gonna take the Slutmobile to the bus stop. Wow, there's a lot of people at the bus stop. I hope my dad's not embarrassed by his Slutmobile. Come on, I'll drive you to work. What?
That thing better be washed off the road. I don't know how you got it on there.
It's permanent. It's a present. Dad, don't worry if your neighbors see the Slutmobile. I mean, it's just your Slutmobile.
Yeah, see? The neighbors looking at the sluts on the car.
Yeah.
And that was, what was really going on at the time? Were you guys really mad at me when we did that stuff?
Yes.
Well, I was mad because my mom and my sister were coming to visit that day, and I thought,
You didn't want
you
sluts
had
on
to
the car.
get this off the hood of the car
pornography.
because they would think my life was totally out of control, you know.
Yeah.
They lived out of town, and I didn't see them that often.
And that's, I think, around the time when I realized that maybe you were kind of like conservative or something.
Maybe.
Like you couldn't even deal with some pornography on the car.
Yeah, like hello. What's wrong
But
with
you
that?
didn't hold any of that anger for, you know, because it was really, we just swapped out the hood.
No, because usually another thing would happen.
Yeah. So what? No. But you guys were very supportive, though.
Yeah. No,
You
the hood got replaced quickly. You had gotten another hood.
What was the first time I did a prank to you guys? I can't, like, on the show. Do you remember the first one?
The painted
house
house was
flat.
the first big one, I think.
When we painted the house
Yeah,
plaid.
that was the first one, I think, period. Yeah.
We have a clip of that, actually. Let's watch that together. Can we watch it full screen for a minute, the painting the house plaid, and then if that's okay.
Gosh, look at your dark mustache.
Here, without supervision.
Look at that hair.
I think my parents will be happy when they come home and see that I've done some work around the house. I hoped my parents would like their surprise. The house looked better than all the other houses in the neighborhood. I knew my mom and dad were gonna love it. It was gonna be the best house in the whole world.
Yeah.
You painted the house?
I did all the lawn too.
The car is gone. I'm calling the guy.
What do you mean? What are you talking
You
about?
have 2 days to get that painted back.
Why? What?
Oh, yeah. See, you were mad at me.
Yeah, I was.
You were mad at me.
Well, you know, Tom, nobody had a camera in their face in those days.
Is it-
And we got back from a canoe trip.
Yeah,
We've been
canoe
in
trip, yeah.
Canoeing
That's what you guys did for
in
fun.
Algonquin Park for
In Algonquin Park, yeah.
9 days.
Yeah, for 9 days.
We looked like hell.
9
you know,
days.
my hair was a mess.
No
you
hair and
know,
makeup.
Your dad's glasses got broken, so we're not
Yeah, we just watched it.
camera ready.
Yeah.
And the house was painted plaid.
Yeah,
so
it's
what
plaid.
did you
Yeah.
expect?
And yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
You know,
I know.
let's
I love that you're really trying to make the show good today, too, though. You're really trying to make it good.
okay.
But
I'll just be
no,
quiet
I don't
then.
want to discourage that. But
Oh.
look, we're going to take a commercial break.
Oh, good.
I really appreciate you coming.
And then you can tell me what you really think.
No, this is fine.
Okay, good. All right.
You're doing more talking than Dad, too. Who's the funny one here, you or Dad?
Your dad. I just don't give him a chance to say anything.
Because you're afraid of what he'll say.
Yes, that's true.
If you figure if you plow through and just talk the
Exactly.
whole time,
We'll get through this.
then you'll get through it without father
Exactly.
saying anything. Did you talk to Dad before the show and tell him, hey,
No.
don't say anything ridiculous?
Did I?
Well, you did give me a couple of tips. that's
Yes,
for
I
sure.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we'll be back with Richard and Mary Jane Green, Brody Stevens, and Neil Hamburger all on the show today. Stick around. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to the show. We're here with Richard and Mary Jane Green, my parents, who have been always so supportive of me over the years. And here we are on Access TV. We've got this great studio, this amazing crew, this incredible television
pretty
channel
nice.
supporting my little show, my little dream, right? Isn't that nice?
We're proud, Tom.
Are you
Yeah,
proud?
yeah.
Proud.
Are you proud?
Yeah, we are.
Just like Brody's dad
Yeah,
was
you're
proud.
proud, you're
We're
proud.
proud.
Yeah.
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 We're
Yeah.
proud.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad you're proud.
Good.
I wanted you guys to be proud.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
All
I
the
think
time.
all kids want their parents to be proud of them.
I think that's true.
Yeah. Well, look at the time that I threw the decapitated cow's head in your bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. And,
Wasn't proud then.
yeah. But first, we'll take a call
Oh, good.
from
Okay.
Judy in Maryland. Judy, how are you in Maryland? Would you like to ask my parents a question?
Oh, absolutely. I'm doing well, thank you. Big fan, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you.
Big fan since your MTV days, believe me.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. And I like your
But
bird.
I'd like to ask your parents.
Yeah.
I kind of have two questions.
Okay.
How long did it take for you to get that smell out of your house when he brought the petting zoo in? And did you have to seek therapy because of the pranks Tom pulled on you?
Yeah.
Damn near, I'll tell you, damn near.
We just drank a lot.
Yeah.
You just drank a lot.
Yeah,
Withering
that's right,
alcoholics after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you drunk right now?
No, but maybe we should be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You've had a couple beers though, right?
I had a beer.
Yeah. And I saw you
No,
getting,
actually, I had half a beer.
I saw you getting like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
spiced up before the
Yeah,
show started.
Absolutely.
So the question.
Well, I
But
mean,
no, the house actually, when Tom pulled pranks, do you want to answer that?
I was going to say Dan
When-
Rather got turkey, what is it?
Wild turkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just get a turkey.
Yeah.
No, would you want a drink? Would you like a drink, Dad?
Well, you know. Wait,
I wanted to answer
mean,
Judy's
answer the question.
question.
Where's Judy going?
Judy, what happened actually when any time that you did pull a prank, you would clean up amazingly quickly afterwards.
Yeah. Like, let's look at the cow head
Unlike
in the
what
bed.
you were like when you really
Let's
lived
look at the
in
cow head in the bed.
Yeah.
Let's look at that.
Yeah,
you-
See how.
You did clean up.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
This was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Is that me? Oh.
This was a real cow's head that we got at the slaughterhouse. And then I brought it for you.
Friggin' disgusting.
What's that, Dad?
So that is friggin' disgusting, even
Yeah.
to this day.
At this point, did you know that it was a real cow's head?
I didn't
Oh, look
really.
at- look at
there's
Sport.
Oh, there's our old dog Sport, yeah.
Yeah.
Sport's no longer with us. Yeah. You got really mad about that one, though, Mom.
Actually, I had to take the day off work the next day. I felt sick
Yeah.
after seeing that
You did.
dead cow head.
Yeah, we're sickened you.
Yeah, it did.
We like cows.
Yeah.
But not just their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take another call from Seth in Louisiana. Seth, how are you? You're on with my parents.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Very good, very good. Go ahead with your question.
All righty, Mr. Green and Mrs. Green, do y'all feel or think Tom owes you? Or do y'all forgive him?
Yeah.
Oh, he owes us big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you add the pros and cons, y'all still feel like he owes y'all?
No.
No, we're happy he's
happy
being
he's-
successful and he's got out of the basement. That's the main
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Isn't this fun, though? Like you have people from around
Yeah.
the United States of America calling to talk to you all around the world. People.
Yeah.
Do you guys get recognized ever because of all this nonsense?
Your dad does more than I do.
And you like that,
actually.
right?
I do.
Your dad does, yeah.
I mean,
You like getting recognized.
finally recognized me as the star I should be.
Yeah. It was all worth it. If we could do it all over again, you would probably want me to do the pranks. Because
Yeah.
sometimes people, I wonder, like, if you kind of got into it a little bit.
Maybe towards the end we did. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I have a better sense of humor now than I did back then. Because
Yeah.
you'd be tired, you were working. And when I look back, I think it's kind of funny, but
Yeah.
at the time, not so much.
we
Because
have
I
to
knew it was time to stop pulling pranks when I snuck up to Ottawa with Monica Lewinsky. At 3 o'clock in the morning, we walked into your bedroom with Monica Lewinsky, and Dad sat up in bed and said, "Oh, hey, Monica, how you doing?" It just
true.
nothing was phasing you anymore at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess that's about it, right?
That's all she wrote.
I mean, is there anything else to say, really?
No.
Yeah. You know, I just thought it would be fun to. I mean, you're going to hang out with us for the show, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more, and Brody
fun.
Stevens is
Yeah.
going to come out,
Yeah,
and
but, you know,
Neil Hamburger is going to be here.
Hamburger, it's
Yeah,
always
there's
a-
one sort of more thing, though.
Oh, what is
John,
it? What?
John.
You have some sort of surprise?
Yeah, we do have a surprise
Oh,
for
okay.
you, Tom.
Really? A surprise, okay.
We did. We
Yeah.
brought you a present.
The most we could do.
Why?
Because we thought you'd like that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You don't
Nice.
want it?
See, whenever
of
someone
course
does a
he wants.
surprise on the show,
Yeah.
it never works.
I know.
Because there's absolutely nothing funny about this.
Well, you know
or
what? It's
interesting.
not supposed to be funny, but
You framed my poster from my Australian comedy tour.
I know.
And
you
why
hate,
does anybody watching care?
Well, you know what? I just think it's fun because you hate surprises.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's good.
It's very nice.
Wasn't
Thank you,
that
Mom.
nice that we did that?
Thank
you would be good.
Very nice. Would have been nicer off camera.
Hey, you don't always get what you... A lot of things would have been nicer off camera,
You know,
Tom.
if you like sprayed me with a fire extinguisher, I'd be happier.
Okay.
All right, next time.
Sorry.
You're-
I really like it. I do. But why now? Why here?
Well, because your studio,
Nope.
you had things hanging up.
Oh,
I
for
thought
the-
you
for
were
the wall in the
missing,
studio.
missing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I hate surprises.
I
really do.
no shit.
They never work on television. Don't you understand? I have to orchestrate everything around here.
Hey,
It's
not
a
a
very.
control freak.
No, no,
Yeah.
your mother has
But
to
thank you very
orchestrate
much.
everything.
Let me show everybody at home another picture of me, okay? That's going to really make everybody feel really good at home, watching a guy interview his parents and show everyone a picture of himself.
Oh.
You seem a little-
Well, hey, that really worked.
All right, we'll be right back. Stick around. We got Brody Stevens coming out after the break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. And we're back. My parents are still here. Brody Stevens is here. Thank you, Brody, for being here.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Fired up.
Yeah, I want to. I'm excited to have you here. We've done some podcasts in the past. We're going to talk about your television show.
Yeah.
We talk about your stand-up comedy. I want to quickly just show this one more time because I feel bad actually now. I feel bad because I didn't react well when my mother and father gave me. This is a real gift.
It is.
I thought it was going to be some sort of a joke or something.
No,
No, you actually did this for me.
we did.
You framed a poster from my tour in Australia.
We did.
So I was trying, a lot was happening.
I know.
I was
You're not
trying to.
good with
I was expecting
surprises.
there was some crazy prank, and then it
No.
was just a nice thing.
We don't do the pranks.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
the pranks.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You brought that for the studio. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's weird hanging out, sometimes with my parents. I get weirded out by it sometimes.
It is?
Yeah, I get kind of freaked out by it because
We're so normal.
yeah.
I don't know.
Whoa! Look at Dick. He's out
All
of
right,
control.
Brody. See, now my dad's getting wasted and everything. So how's it going? So this is great to have you. How's the show going? You have a TV show on Comedy Central.
Yeah, had it. Went well.
Yeah.
Did a half-hour special. It was just a good experience. I don't know if we're going to come back. People always ask, there's going to be a season 2. What's going on next? I'm just kind of riding the organic wave.
Do you want to come back?
Yeah, I'd like to. I'm kind of licking my wounds a little bit. I need to recharge my batteries. It's like going out on tour and you come back, you kind of like got to take a break, chill. But I have ideas, and those ideas change weekly. I have an idea now what I would do, but ask me in a month, it might be different.
Tell everybody about the show. Describe the show. It's a reality show, is it?
Yeah, the show was about me doing audience warm-up, which I do, and I still do, and taking it to the next level. How do you get from doing audience warm-up to doing more stand-up, doing more TV, going to that next level? And Zach Galifianakis, my friend, who I knew before a lot of this stuff, before The Hangover, he always said that, Brody, you have a funny family, not unlike how you are with your parents, how I was with my sister. We were into like silly, stupid things, and we were arguing. I'm 40, she was, a little bit older than me. So Zach always put in my head, that was a funny show. And so that's what we did. We shot the pilot, and it was an introduction to me. It was my sister and myself reconciling for my mom's 80th birthday.
It's kind of like what's going on here in my life, right?
There's a little bit of that, yeah. I have my mom on the show, And my mom is funny. She doesn't try to be. My dad passed away. I'm sorry, but he was a funny guy too. But it was the show's been great, and I set out to do a goofy comedy show, maybe kind of like what you've done. That energy, being real, but also being creative. And I was getting ready for it, and I kind of went off the rails a little bit. I was excited, and I said, hey, I don't need this medication to keep me relaxed. It's holding me back. It's time to go for it. And I kind of went off the rails, and the police got involved.
Really?
Yeah. I got detained at a Starbucks.
Yeah.
And
because was it just the pressure from the show was getting to you? Because you've been working as a stand-up comedian for years, and all of a sudden there's this show and there's pressure, is there?
I was more excited. I didn't feel the pressure. I felt I'm doing good. I was doing these comedy festivals. I went to Ireland, Montreal, and I was just feeling, okay, I'm feeling good. Maybe I don't need this antidepressant to, maybe I'll taper down.
Yeah.
I did it too quick, not under my doctor's supervision, got me in trouble. This is after the pilot.
Right.
And then I said, why don't I turn this trouble that I have work it into the show?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I did. And when I had my incident, I was on Twitter. So it was already kind of out there in the public. And to be honest with you, I remember your show, you had surgery, you had testicular cancer, and you showed your operation on TV, and I see how you were with your parents, and I was thinking, like, people like Tom Green have done stuff and been open. I can do it. So I just did it. I was being real, and I get emails that I inspired people, and I was just trying to do a comedy show. I was trying to I let them capture me the first go around. We had an HBO internet, and then Comedy Central bought it. And then when Comedy Central bought it, I felt like, okay, I got to make this funnier. I'm going to add funny. And then I just started adding drama. I did your podcast. I did Dr. Drew's podcast. And I just threw it all in and kind of tweaked things as we were going along. And at the end of the day, it really made a mark with people. And I don't know about the numbers.
What's it like working with Zach Galifianakis? Is he a pretty awesome guy to hang out with? Is he like? Do you still hang out with him all the time after his huge success?
I mean, this Obama thing's changed him.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, you get a couple hits. You're on the front page of Funny or Die. I mean, I'm sure it's going to, go away. It's a 24-hour news cycle. We've already forgot.
Yeah. But that was hilarious. He had the president on Between Two Ferns. Is he excited about that? I don't have you here to talk about Zach, but you guys are buddies, so.
I am buddies with Zach. I knew about it. I did sign a waiver, a non-disclosure waiver, and I couldn't talk about it. I did know he went. I mean, he'll tell me, "Hey, Brody, I got this working, I got that working."
Yeah.
So I kind of knew that it was happening. So I was very happy for him. But I've been friends with Zach. Before all this stuff. I met Zach way back in 1999, 2000. And yeah, funny, instantly, okay, but an even better guy.
Your show is filled with tons of huge comedy talent. You're friends with all of these, like Sarah Silverman's in your show, and Tim and Eric are in your show.
Tom Arnold.
Yeah, and this has come from years of just being a great stand-up here in town. Your stand-up's different than your average stand-up, though.
Yeah, I think my stand-up's in the moment, crowd work, energy, riffing, jokes also. I mean, it is about jokes, but having those jokes allow you to go and be different and try to explore. And if they're with it, they're with it. If not, okay, here's a joke, back to that.
They said like that sometimes it's like between the jokes. Like sometimes the jokes, I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
No, I know.
Sometimes the jokes don't work.
People like that.
But then your reaction to that is what people
Frustration.
like. Frustration.
Sweat, anger. And I used to really get hard on myself about it. Like, now I've kind of figured it out. I know I'm a little different and they may not get it. So if I do get frustrated, it's kind of a fake frustration. I don't go into that red level. I kind of keep it here. And that's just part of stage time, just going on. And I did warm-up. I've done 2,500 television warm-ups. I started at Fox Sports back in 2001. And you're just thrown out there to swim with the sharks. And you kind of learn it's a lot of psychology, group psychology that I learned from audience warm-up, and it's timing and it's orchestrating. And then you carry that into stand-up.
Just toured with Dave Chappelle, is that?
Oh yeah, that was great. I went on the Oddball comedy tour, and that was amphitheaters, big 15,000 seat amphitheaters. And we went all over the country. I would do the side stage and start that up at 5, and they're comedy fans. They were tailgating, they come in and fans of the show, and then...
We have a clip of that, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a clip of that.
Yeah. Yes.
You got it. What a round of applause. I didn't ask for that, but I will accept it. I'm walking through the audience with Jesus. That's what I do. 2 Jews hanging out. Arms crossed, negative energy. What's going on here? Maybe anti-Semitic. That's what I'm picking up on. Sorry for spitting on you. You got it.
So it's a stream of consciousness thing. People love it. You're huge on Twitter. What's your Twitter? Everybody tweet
my
Brody.
Twitter is Brody is me friend. And that's an homage. A lot of my things that I do, a lot of my catchphrases are just homages to people that have been, throughout my life. So Brody is me friend is an homage to Tony and Mr. Lee, my bus boys in New York City. Tony Albanian and Mr. Lee was Chinese. Brody, you good guy, you me friend. So that's kind of where it was. Brody is me friend. In fact, Enjoy It, the name of the Comedy Central show, that was from Arizona State. I went to school there, I played baseball, and I remember I went to a McDonald's, and the girl working there, I ordered a #1 combo, and she was just so excited, and she goes, enjoy. And it was just like, wow, this is McDonald's. Then I went to Wendy's a couple weeks later. She's working the drive-thru at Wendy's. Enjoy your chocolate frosty. So I just took enjoy, and we turned it into, it was a baseball thing.
Great. Okay, well, we're going to take a break. Time for a break? Is it time for a break? Okay, we'll take a break. We'll be back with your friend.
Okay.
Neil Hamburger is going to come out and join us. And we're going to take some calls, and we're going to hang out with Neil Hamburger, Brody Stevens, my parents.
Yeah.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Cool.
We are back with Richard, Mary Jane Green, Brody Stevens, Neil Hamburger. How are you, Neil?
Never better, Tom. How are you doing?
Very good. This is great to have you here. Let me introduce the legendary Neil Hamburger, who we go way back.
I used to do Tom's show. Now, we were talking about you guys were talking about the pranks that you played on these guys.
Yeah.
I used to do your show back when it was out of your house. Yeah. And they played the ultimate prank. The reason that the show is now out of the studio is that these guys burned down your house.
Yes, that's
They're
true.
the ones that did it.
Yes, yes.
They're the ones that did it.
Yeah, we weren't going to talk about that.
Get in trouble.
And you know Neil Hamburger. You Mom, you know Neil Hamburger.
Yes.
You're a fan of Neil Hamburger.
He's on all my
I've
records.
seen- yeah.
Neil, well, since we're talking about jokes today, and Brody and Neil, you guys are friends. I thought maybe Neil might have some jokes for us on the show today.
Yeah.
But before we hear some jokes, let's take a call for everybody
Why talk to these losers when you got the Four Stooges here on stage?
That's true. Let's take a call from Sydney in Colorado here. Sydney, do you have a question for Neil or Brody or Richard or Mary Jane?
Yeah, I do. Brody.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
Hey. Do you ever get stage fright, and how do you deal with that?
I do sometimes. It depends on energy. It means if there's a big crowd, it takes time to adjust to the energy in the room. So I'm not nervous here. I feel great. But Stand-up situations that I'm not used to, yeah, I can get stage fright, and I have to take Klonopin and do yoga in a parking lot.
Don't advertise that company. Sydney, I wish you had stage fright so you wouldn't have asked such a stupid question.
Oh, don't make her cry, Neil.
Oh well.
Sorry, that's just what Neil does, Sydney. I'm just laughing because I enjoy it a lot. But he doesn't mean it, do you?
Yeah, I mean it.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you
This
for your
is
call,
network
Sydney.
TV.
We
We
appreciate.
don't need these junior high school style questions.
Okay, well,
And it made me defensive.
it's just a question.
Well, it made Brody uncomfortable. It made me feel horrible, nauseous. I don't know about you guys, but
Now, how was your
I thought she was sweet.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, she was.
How's your touring going, Neil?
Corn syrup is sweet, but we don't drink that by the gallon, do we? How's the what?
How's touring going? Is it going well?
Horrible.
Oh, yeah.
It's back-breaking, brutal work.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. It can't all be fun and games. We've got shows coming up in Providence, Rhode Island, Hamden, Connecticut. I'm going to be there. London, England. I'm headed there. I'm headed there.
Yeah.
Every city in the world we get to once a year.
Yeah, you have fans all of both of you guys have a huge cult followings around the world.
Yeah,
and
Just like Guyana.
I'm doing a bar in New Hampshire. I have a very successful podcast. Who doesn't? Very popular on Gmail.
Yeah.
Brody can throw a fastball, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, right through this set.
I know that you
Give him a
actually
baseball.
were
powerful arm.
You were AAA ball or college ball?
Played
or?
college at
Yeah.
Arizona State, right down the street from your parents' house or where they're living.
Yeah.
And I went to Arizona State. I had a good arm. I pitched with passion and anger, things I can't really do in comedy. I could play baseball angry. Comedy, I can't do angry. Frustrated? Yes. But not angry.
Throw a glass at somebody.
Yeah, I can get aggressive. I've been I was detained at Starbucks. I have it in me.
Yeah. Good. We have another call. Walter.
7-Eleven.
Walter from Georgia. Do you have a question for Neil, Brody, Richard, or Mary Jane?
I'll ask any of them. Mary Jane, how about you?
Okay.
Mary Jane, I wanted to ask regarding Tom. Has he always had that comedic personality, or is that something that he adapted to as he grew older?
I think he always had that in him. I mean, from the time he was young.
Ask Neil a question.
Richard,
let's not talk
Tom,
about
I have
me.
a question for you.
embarrassing, Tom.
What do you have
I
to
can ask
do
Neil a
to get
question.
to the point where you don't have to take questions from these assholes, where you can just run a regular program?
No,
you know what I mean?
He's a nice guy. He just.
It doesn't matter if he's a nice guy. He doesn't have anything to add to our program.
Here, Neil.
Tom, I need to elevate my broken foot.
Oh, yeah, no, but
Somebody
this is
get
the
some
elephant in the
milk
room,
cake
isn't it? Your
carton
broken
for
foot.
Brody's foot.
Yeah.
You can
Well,
leave it there.
would you like to tell? How did you break your foot?
I fell off the stage doing audience warm-up at the At Midnight show on Comedy Central. I'm currently in a lawsuit with Viacom.
Wow,
And,
really? Okay.
But I busted my foot. But
Do you think suing Viacom is a good, thing for your career?
I'm going to bring him
I'm
down.
suing him too. I'm suing At Midnight for running a terrible program.
Oh, Neil, how dare you? They pay my workman's comp.
Now, Neil, you perform around all the time. You have lots of jokes. Your jokes are. Would you like to tell my parents and Brody and I a
Why
joke?
not? Brody's heard these jokes a million times. We go way back. We
Maybe
worked
one
the
for my
cruise ships
parents.
together.
Do you have a?
At what point, during a Julio Iglesias concert, do most people throw up? When he comes on stage.
And that goes for the junior also, his punk kid.
Enrique Iglesias. Enrique is Spanish for ejaculate.
Oh, my God. Oh. That's funny.
It's not funny, it's just facts.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back after this, right?
You're
We'll be right back.
blushing,
Yeah,
Tom.
well, that's good.
Get a carton
My
for Brody's
parents
foot.
are big fans, so they can take it.
We can take it.
We'll
Yeah,
be back
put it up here.
with
Put
more
it up
jokes
here,
from Neil
Brody.
Hamburger and more of your calls with Brody Stevens and my parents. Stick around. We'll be right
Where's my
back.
foot?
In the year 2014, what are we referring to when we speak of the Jackson 5? The number of dollars in Jermaine's bank account.
Poor Jermaine.
And they're bitcoins.
Yes.
Which is even worse.
Let's have another joke. What, Mom, Dad? Another joke from Neil Hamburger, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
What is the only time you should take your grandparents to Carl's Jr.? When Carl's Jr. is paying $1 a pound for scrap meat. And for our East Coast viewers, that's Hardee's. We're talking about Hardee's. I guess at the Mississippi it turns into Hardee's.
I get the chicken sandwich. I avoid it.
You've gotten in a little trouble on your Twitter for taking on corporate America.
Axe deodorant. Who would have thought that sweet, simple deodorant, that they're such assholes? These guys tried to shut me down.
Maybe we don't want to make. We probably don't want to talk.
They tried to put me in jail. Yeah, okay.
We don't want to make fun of sponsors around here. We love our sponsors.
I love to smell good.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we got a call from Brandon in Chicago.
Branson, Missouri.
Yeah, Brandon in Chicago. You're on the air.
Yes. Go ahead, Brandon.
Hi. I have a question for Brody.
You got it.
Do you have any comedians or comedy shows that come to mind as your favorites today, or anything that stands out as like the best to you?
The best show that I like to do? I'll tell you what, every Sunday that I'm asked to do the Neil Hamburger show at the Satellite in Silver Lake, that's the best show. I bring it, we do rock and roll clubs, and the kids, not unlike yourself, in Chicago, get it. That's what I'm talking about. I get fired up at rock clubs. I bring it. I have a tambourine. And now I've got a cane.
On the table. Yeah. Get some marimbas.
Yeah. Is there a certain, there's a certain crowd that comes out to your shows? It's a different crowd, isn't it?
I mean, these are people that they're not happy with the standard comedy. They want something a little strange, a little unusual.
Yeah.
And so that's what we serve up to them.
Yeah. We're blue collar guys, you know. We're not on the west side. We're in the hills above LA, the bad hills, the dangerous hills. And we give the kids what they want. A lot of single guys with beards into graphic art.
Is that called
into bad music?
The hipsters, right? The hipsters.
But a little older, a little more wiser.
The
hipsters.
The alternative comedy scene.
Not even. These are people that hate everything.
Okay.
I do both. I do Neil's Rooms, and I also do the Comedy Store. I dip my toe in that world also.
Okay. Autumn from Pennsylvania, you're on the air. Autumn from Pennsylvania, go ahead with your question.
There's actually a person here too. I want to ask a question to Hamburger.
I got a question for you. Which one of you is Autumn?
Autumn is on the left. I can't hear.
No, I'm
all right.
right.
All right, just ask the question. Ask the question.
All right.
This
for
is
Hamburger.
live television.
What's with a hamburger? Respect.
How exactly do you get your hair that way? What does it take?
I slip on a banana peel, and when I hit the pavement, it's like this.
All right, thanks for your call.
He liked it.
What kind of a question? I mean, that's rude. You don't ask Liza Minnelli how she looks the way that she looks.
But he addressed you as Hamburger.
Yeah, I know. Where's the mister?
Yeah, no, it's like, come on. You do rock clubs.
All right, let's take another call. We have a call from, who is this? Who are we talking to
This
here?
is like Juan Pablo from The Bachelor.
Sister Act from Graham from San Francisco.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, Brody, question for you. Love you on Curl Show, by the way.
Thank you. Some of my best work.
If you weren't doing comedy, man, what do you think you'd be doing?
Probably a salesman or a psychological trainer for Major League Baseball teams. I'm into sports, and I feel like I can connect with these guys. A lot of my friends are players, and I do text them positive messages. And I wish I was a baseball player. It's in my blood. I'm only doing comedy because I backed into it. How was it being in the Hangover movies? Was that exciting, being in something that just was so huge and such a great success? Well, I mean, when we did it, I didn't know, and nobody knew. We thought, hey, it's going to be one of these small things or whatever. So I did my scene. I did it. It was my first real big movie. But I was familiar with all the guys, the actors, and Todd, the director. And we didn't know. And then, 6, 7 months later, I see I'm in the preview. People, hey, you're in this preview. Oh, really? And then The Hangover just kind of took off. And it was, it feels good to be a part of it. And nobody recognizes me from The Hangover. Why? Because I'm a good actor. And it's one of my bits, one of my jokes. But it does feel good, yeah.
Yeah, that's great, absolutely. Okay, Tyler from Alberta, Canada. Go ahead with your question, Tyler.
Hey, guys. I love you both big time, but I just figured I'd ask Neil a question. Neil, you built your career on, having contempt and hatred for pretty much everything around you.
Not true.
So I'm just kind of wondering, is there anything you love or
yes.
just?
I'll tell you what I love. I love the police force of Alberta, Canada, because I did a show in Alberta, Canada, and this weirdo, freako, sicko in the head woman came up on stage and broke a glass like this over my head, punched me in the goddamn face, and ran out of the building, and your police force showed up, and they said, we're going to get her. And I'll tell you something, Neil. This is what the Alberta police said. They said, Alberta's not like the rest of Canada. This is the Wild West. It would have been within your rights to kill her on stage, and you would have walked. You would have flown home tomorrow, totally a free man. You should have killed her. You should have killed that fucking bitch. That's what the cops said to me.
All right.
That is a very progressive police force.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was there. I saw it.
He was there. We were working together in Alberta.
Calgary.
In Calgary. Can you believe this attack?
You composed yourself. You only got one good shot in on her, but I'm kidding. No, but none of that. You handled it. You handled it great, and she was out of line. These crazy Albertians.
Yep. She was from BC.
Oh, even worse.
That explains it.
There we go. Understandable.
Well, this has been a whole lot of fun tonight, guys. I mean, the show has just flown past. Thank you for being here tonight with my parents. Neil Hamburger,
pleasure. Your mom was so
Stevens,
nice.
Mother, father,
what's the matter with you?
Grandfather.
Oh, you're good too.
Thank you for my present.
Oh, you're welcome,
Appreciate
Tom.
it. And thank you, everybody, for watching. My parents and I are going to jump in the car. We're driving to Las Vegas right now. We're driving to Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Come
road
see the
trip,
shows this
road
weekend.
trip.
Thank you for watching. Good night, everybody.